In today's video, we're going to look at 6 things that you can do to improve the visual quality of your animations. So stay tuned. Hey guys, my name is Ian and welcome to my Start Animating YouTube channel, the channel that is specifically aimed at everyone that is new to animation. And if that is you, welcome. You are at the right place. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also click on that little notification bell so that you can get notified every week when I upload a brand new video. And if you are new to animation or you want to start out and you've never animated before and you want to learn, well, I've got some great news. I've got some free video training just in the description box below. There's a link. Just click there, sign up, and you can take this free training and you will work alongside with me, and by the end of the video you would have created your very first animation. And that is the best way to learn, is to actually animate, and you'll have the basic knowledge to actually continue and create your own animations afterwards. So that is a perfect way. So if you're interested, in the description box below there's a link. Just click there, sign up, and you can take that free training. Now today we're going to look at ways or 6 things that you can implement into your animations to really enhance the visual quality of your animation so that it looks amazing. Okay, so the first one is artistic style. Okay, so artistic style, I believe, is very important because that will people will identify your animation just by the artistic style. For example, The Simpsons. The Simpsons have a very unique style, and if you see that style, you know exactly that is The Simpsons. And that really helps with your animation as well, to have a very unique style. Now, you may say, well, I want to create anime, like manga style animations. So that is great, but then your animation will look a lot like other animations. Okay, so yes, you maybe want to do a certain style, artistic style for your animations, but it is very important to add your own personal touch to it. So even if you are doing it in a specific artistic style, always see if you can't make that style your own, make it unique. So it is very important to have a artistic style that people can recognize your animations with. For example, Disney princesses or Disney movies. We all know that is an artistic style on its own. We can look at DC Comics and Marvel, even though they are in the same genre, superhero comics, they have a very different artistic style to it. People can look just at drawings and know this is DC and this is Marvel. So try and get your own artistic style, and it doesn't have to be perfect. For example, if we look at Adventure Time, I'm not a very big fan of the artistic style of Adventure Time, but it works. It works. I mean, those arms and legs look so unnatural, but it works, and it is very unique. And when people see this artistic style, they will know exactly what television show it is. It is Adventure Time. So it doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but I think it is very important to be unique so that it stands out and people can recognize your animations. The second point that I would like to look at is artistic continuity. Okay, so this is very important, and allow me to quickly open up Cartoon Animator and show you. So here is a scene with 4 characters. Okay, now imagine I create an animation with these 4 characters in this scene. None of it matches. Okay, so all 4 characters have a different artistic style to it, and they don't even match the backdrop of the scene. So those characters don't feel like they belong in the same story, and even they don't look like they belong in that scene. Okay, so that is what I mean about artistic continuity. You want everything to match. So if I show an image here quickly, this is The Simpsons. So if you look here, you can actually see that There's some continuity with the characters. The characters look like they belong in the same story. The characters, they fit into the scene. And one thing that you'll pick up here as well, and we're going to talk about it in the next point, is perspective. You can see the perspectives are also perfect. It looks good. Everything fits. But it looks like the characters belong together and that the characters belong in the scene. And that is so important. So you want continuity in your artwork. Okay, so that is very, very important. Then another point before we get to perspectives is one thing is artistic shapes. If you want your animations to look very good, you want to incorporate different types of shapes. Okay, so if we look here, I've got here all the characters from Popeye. Now, the first thing that I can notice is all the characters are different shapes and sizes, okay? So it makes it look very interesting, but you can still see there's a very specific artistic style to it, and there's artistic continuity in it. They belong together. Even though they are different shapes and sizes, they belong together, but the different shapes and sizes is what makes it look interesting. Popeye and Brutus and Wimpy doesn't have the same body shapes. The one is big and strong, the other one is a bit skinnier, and the other one is fat. Olive Oil has a very different body shape than the others. She's very skinny, and always her body always reminds me of like rubber. It's very everything bends. So it is not like strong curves. So if her arm bends, it's not like a strong angle here. If I show this is a strong angle, it's always like bending. So they have very different, unique, artistic shapes that they use, but it belongs like they fit together. The characters look like they belong in the same story. So another example that I can give you is Laurel and Hardy. One character is short and fat, and the other one is skinny and tall. So it is the contrast between the two characters. So the two characters don't look the same. There's some contrast, and it looks interesting. So if you use different shapes in your animation, it creates interest. So your animation doesn't look repetitive with all the characters. There's some interest there. It looks interesting on screen. So that is artistic shapes. Then the fourth point, and that is the one I was mentioning earlier, is perspectives. It is so important to get your perspectives right. For example, here is a drawing of a microwave, and you can see the perspectives are completely wrong, and it doesn't look right, and it looks off. So even if you have the most beautiful artistic style to your animation, but if the perspectives are wrong, then your animation will look off. Something will look off. It won't look right. So always make sure your perspectives are right. If we go back to The Simpsons, you can see there is some the perspective lines of these cupboards are perfect. The perspective lines of these tiles on the floor are all matching. It all works. The perspectives are 100% correct, and the scene looks right. It looks the way it should. So that is very important to get your perspectives right. Then the fifth point that I want to focus on is cinematography. Now, the best way for me to describe cinematography is storytelling with your camera. Okay, so it is about camera angles, close-ups, camera movements, camera placements, where you place your characters in your scene, etc. So I've got two examples, and it is almost the same thing, but they've done it differently for different reasons. Okay, so here is a scene of Scream, the movie Scream. And here this character is centered right in the middle, and she's looking away, she's looking out. Okay, now normally what you will do is you will put your character, you'll call it rule of thirds, so you'll break your scene into thirds, and your character will be right about where that block of the information is. That is almost a third, so she will normally be here looking this way. Okay, so they'll always be on the opposite side of what they're looking at. So she is looking to the right, so she'll be on the left of the screen on that third, on that line, on that thirds. Okay, normally that is where you will place her if you use your rule of thirds, but they didn't. Why? They moved her forward because they want the audience to see this open space, because it will create more suspense, because the audience know there's a serial killer after her, and to show this open space will let the audience wait in anticipation whether that serial killer will appear behind her. Okay, so it creates the illusion that will that serial killer appear behind her or not? So they didn't place her on the rule of thirds like normal. They wanted to show this open space right here for a specific reason. Okay, so actually they broke the rule of third rule. They broke some rules because it helps to tell the story much better, and it makes the scene a lot more intense for the viewer. Okay, because the viewer will know, okay, ooh, will that serial killer appear right behind her? Okay, so that is what they wanted to create. Now here is the exact same scenario, but they've used it differently. Okay, so here is Drew Barrymore. Okay, so now they've used the rule of thirds. Okay, so she's looking to the left. So they've placed her on the right, and she is basically there on the thirds of the screen. So she is placed correctly. But why did they do it in this case? Because here is a window and a door, and with her looking this way, she's leading the audience to look at that door. So the audience will keep looking at that door to see if the serial killer will appear there. So it is almost the same scenario, but they've used it in two different ways to lead the audience to, in anticipation, to think, will the serial killer appear or not? So cinematography is basically to help tell your story visually using your camera. So I always say, if you remove the dialogue, if you click on the mute button, will the audience still understand your story? If they don't, then your cinematography is off. So you can really, with cinematography, help tell your story so much better. So cinematography, I believe, is quite important. And then the last point is the 12 rules of the 12 principles of animation. This includes like appeal, timing, anticipation, squash and stretch, slow in, slow out, all of that. So if you want to learn more about the 12 principles of animation, I did create a playlist. I will put it right here so you can go have a look, and you can go through all of them, because the reason that the 12 principles of animation is more geared to your animation and not your artistic look and feel and the cinematography. It is actually about your animation. And this is important because if you create beautiful backdrops, beautiful characters, artistically it looks beautiful, it looks perfect, it looks like a Disney movie, your perspectives is great, your cinematography is great, but your timing is off, then your animation won't feel right. Something won't feel right for the audience. Something is not right. It's not working the way it should. So therefore, the 12 principles of animation is really important as well for the visual appearance of your animation. So if I can quickly recap everything for you. Number one, artistic style. Create your very own artistic style that is unique to you. Then artistic continuity. Make sure your characters look like they belong in the same story and they belong in the locations and scenes that you place them. Everything looks cohesive. That is very important. Then artistic appeal, so it is use different shapes in your animations, your characters, make them different shapes and sizes. It really adds interest. Then make sure your perspectives are right, your backdrops, the scenes, the perspective should right, otherwise it won't look the way it should. Then the fifth point, cinematography. Try to tell your story with your camera. And then finally, the 12 principles of animations. So if I've missed out anything, if there's anything that you feel that will also really enhance your animations, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to answer questions in future videos as well. So from me, I will see you guys next week with another video. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and click on that notification bell so that you can get notified when I release my new video next week. So from me, Ian, I will see you guys next week. God bless and happy animating.